Good morning students, welcome to GC Tech Hub CS tutorials. Students, as we are doing our revision these days, so today in this class I am going to take up some case study based questions which you might get in your exam. So these case study based questions might be asked with reference to any imaginary person, and there you will might be getting a code or any particular situation based on which a few single one word or one line answers, one line questions could be asked, and you have to answer those questions. So let us move on to today's and these questions would be provided in the form of four questions, that is four subparts. So five subparts, out of which you have to answer only four subparts, and such questions would carry 4 marks in your exam. So these are case study based questions, and also it is according to the board pattern. Now although next year you will be having questions from a different chapter, so for this year I have taken some chapters like conditions, control flow. So you might have already checked in your blueprint. So in the blueprint you might have checked that we already have such questions from 3 chapters, out of which one chapter is control flow. So let us see a few questions today. So today's class I am going to take up these 3 questions. As you can see, these are questions which I have picked up from your practical book. So kindly solve your practical book whenever you get time. So the first question is, predict the output of the following codes. You have been given codes are given, and you can see there are 5 subparts over here, out of which you have to answer only 4, but I'll be discussing the answers for all of them. So the first one is, if not 3, print tricky, else print yes. So let's check this out. So if not 3, print tricky and print yes. As you can see, this print tricky is a part of the if. It's enclosed within the if. So this would be executed only when this if condition is true. And once we have done it, that is depending upon whether if condition is true or false, this statement print yes will be printed regardless of whether the condition is true or not, because you can see there is no indentation provided, hence it is not a part of the if. So if not 3 is given over here. So what do we understand by not 3? 3 is a non-zero value, as we can see here, and any non-zero value will be considered as true, and not 3 will make it as not true, which will be evaluated as false, and hence this condition will be false, because of which this statement won't be executed. And what will be printed in the output? Yes. Let us verify this by running this code over here. So I'm going to type it over here. In the theory exam you won't be getting the Python idle for checking your outputs. So you are solely dependent upon the learned concepts and the dry run of the code. So that is the reason why beforehand you should practice as many of such questions as you can. So the best thing to do it is first do the dry run and analyze the answer of the analyze the output of the question, and then to verify your answer you can type the code in Python and check its output. So that's one of the ways in which you can just check or evaluate your assessment. Now we will be running this code and we are getting the answer yes over here. So yes was the line which was out of the scope of the if statement, and that shows that tricky was not printed. Why? Because this condition was evaluated to be false. Next is if 3. So I already said that 3 is a non-zero value and non-zero values are considered as true. So if true means the condition is true, so it will execute the statement and it will print tricky again. And here we have else, and these two statements are a part of this else. So because the condition, if condition was true, hence else part won't be executed at all. So we only get this output, that is tricky again. Coming to the next one, if 0. So if 0, although it is provided within a bracket, that's only for confusing us. So 0 is considered as false. So the condition is false here. Both these statements won't be executed. If not 0. Now 0 is false. So if not false will be evaluating to true. So in that case, these two statements will be executed. So fourth time again. Then change the line, no. So this is the output which we will be getting over here. Here we won't be getting any output. And the final one, although you can see that we have solved all the 4, that is first 4 are already solved. So in your exam you don't need to go for the 5th one, but here because we are doing a revision, hence I will be discussing the 5th one. So firstly, here we have if 0. So 0 is again considered as false. If false means the condition is false. So this statement won't be executed. Again you can see print the last statement which is not a part of the if else block. So this has to be printed. It has to be executed regardless of the condition. Now because the if condition is false, hence we jump to else part over here, and whatever statement is there within else, that will be executed. As I have already explained before, that else part is the last resort. In case none of the conditions suffice, it's the last resort which will always be executed. So here I'll be typing this statement. It's the last time and thank God will be executed. So this is the code which will be printed over here. So these are the case study based questions which you might get in the form of a reference to any imaginary person, which shall be provided in your question paper. Coming to the next question, write a program to input marks in 3 subjects, compute average, and then calculate grade as per the following guidelines. So we need to first accept marks of 3 subjects, calculate the average, that is the percentage, and then also deduce the grade. And this is the criteria which has been provided, that is grade A, remarks are there and marks are there, that is 80% and above students will be getting grade A and level 4 remarks. Then so and so for the other grades, and finally at the end we have the grade R, which is for remedial standards 39% and below. So here firstly we will start with typing the code for entering the marks in the 3 subjects. So I am going to directly type it over here. Firstly, 3 subject marks. So I'm going to take A, B and C, which will represent the marks in all the 3 subjects. And because sometimes the marks are also obtained in decimals, so I have provided float, enter marks in subject 1. Now I am just taking subject 1, subject 2 and subject 3. You can also actually take the names of certain subjects over here. Just going to copy this and paste it multiple times and just make the changes. And we need to calculate the average of it. So average is A plus B plus C. Considering that per subject marks are out of 100, so I can simply divide it by 3. And I can also write A plus B plus C multiplied by 100 divided by 300. So this can also be done, and simply because this also evaluates to 3, so we will be simply writing it as 3. Now the average has been calculated. Now we need to calculate the grade over here. So let us first evaluate how we shall be calculating the grade. As you can see that this structure almost represents the cascading if else. So we will start from here, that is from 80%. If average is greater than equal to 80, because it's given 80% and above. So if average exceeds 80 or is equal to 80, then it is grade A and level 4. If average, now if this condition is false, it means it has to be the second one, 70 to 79%. So if it is not, if average is not greater than or equal to 80, it means it should be less than 80, that is 79, 78, 77 and so on. So we are simply going to write average greater than equal to 70. We don't need to add any and after this, because it is quite, it implies over here that if the first condition is false, it will automatically cascade and step down to the next condition, under which it will be B and level 3, and same way and so on, it will continue to the end. So let us write the code for it. If average is greater than equal to 80, print grade A, and we'll print this statement also. That is grade A level 4 above agency normalized standards. Elif So I'm just going to copy this part and paste it here. So this will be grade B level 3 at agency normalized standards. A mistake there. If average greater than equal to 60, again I'm going to print it and let's check it. It is C, grade C level 2 below but approaching agency normalized standards. So I'll make the changes. If average greater than equal to 50. Now for 50 it is grade D level 1 well below agency normalized standards. elif average greater than equal to 40, which is this one, level 1 minus and grade E. So we'll write that. It is 2 below agency normalized standards. And finally, it is 39% and below. That means if we would be getting, we already got a condition here, elif average greater than equal to 40. So below 40 we have 39. So anything which goes below 40, that is 39, 38, 37 or anything below that, then we would be only specifying remedial standards, that is this is my last resort, and hence it will be specified within else. So I'll be simply writing else over here. Kindly remember one thing, that else doesn't accept any condition. So if you try to provide a condition in else, it will highlight this as an error. Grade is R and remedial standards, and that completes our cascading if else ladder. Let us run the program and check. So we enter some marks here. It is giving us grade R remedial standards. Now one thing we forgot, that we also need to, okay, so we forgot one very important step over here, that is we need to print the percentage. So we have to print the percentage also, and let us enter some data over here. So we get the percentage and we also get the grade as well as the remarks being specified over here. So such type of questions can be asked. So your case study based questions could contain some conceptual questions as we already saw before, or it could also contain some type of programming questions like these. Let's check the third one. What will be the outputs produced by the following code fragments? First determine it on paper and then verify by running on computer. Obviously this part won't be provided in the question paper. You will have to totally rely on the dry run of the code to check how or what output it would give. And as you can see that here we have looping as the concept being used, and for loop has been used over here. Let's start, and again here also we can see that there are 5 subparts, out of which you have to answer only 4 subparts. We start with the first one. For a in, and you can see a number of values are given over here. Print a. So print a, how it will be printed, as we know that the default print statement, it contains the end character as /n. So every value of a shall be printed on a separate line. So it should be 10, 12, 14, 16 and 18, because it is using that variant for item in collection. So let's run it and check it out practically. For a in, and print a, so we will see what value it gives us. So it, as we had speculated, it is giving us the correct output. So our output is correct. Now what we did practically, that was the actual output, and what we determined on paper, that is the dry run. Coming to the next one, we have for I in range 5. Now for I in range 5, this one, So only the stop value has been provided over here, and the default start value is 0. So it will start from 0, and as we know that the stop value is always excluded, so 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. It will take up these 4 values, which will be printed just like in the previous question. So 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 will be printed over here. Next one, for j in range 0, 5. So it's the same as this first one only. Only thing here, the start value has been provided. So it will also be 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 because we don't have end equals space or empty character. Next, for k in range 3, 0. So now this thing is a bit different. As we can see, range function, the first value is normally the start index and the second value is the stop index. So start index should be less than stop if we are not providing a skip value over here. So here, because we need to start from 3 and end at 0, which shows that our list has to be printed in the reverse order, and for that we need to also specify the skip value as -1. So this might provide us with an error. So let's confirm this. For k in range 3, 0, print k, and let's run it. And we can see that the program doesn't give us any output because it doesn't go with the condition, as we already have 3 as the start value and 0 as the stop value, but the skip is +1, which will not allow this loop to execute, so we won't get any output over here. Last one, for C in Apple. So we can see that this is a string object which is given here, and for C, that is C represents each character within this string object, so it would be printed in this way. That is, every character will be printed on a separate line. So that's all in this class. These are some conceptual plus case study based questions which you will be getting in your exams. Such similar type of questions you might get in the exam, so kindly practice them from your practical book.